Let's have a sesh on product development. So product development is when businesses decide to make further products. So they could develop a product in two ways. It could be the creation of new products. So take, for example, Apple originally came from iPods, iPhones, iPads, and now they've got the Apple Pencil, a new product, the creation of a new product. But also product development can be through modifying existing products. So you've seen it again with Apple. Well, they've recently introduced the iPad Pro, the new iPad Pro. That is a modification of an existing product, just being the iPad. And in the case of the iPad Pro, it's been repackaged, it's probably got performance improvements, and it's certainly of a higher specification, a higher quality. So it's got quality improvements. So that's the idea of the modification of existing products. And that is what product development is. And product development is about selling different products to the same market segments, Now, a very possible question that could appear on product development is, what are the pros and the cons of a business doing product development? It could be also, what are the benefits and the risks of a company doing product development? Let's go through it. So number one is going to be increased sales. If you create new products or you modify your existing products, then it's likely to lead to increased sales and hopefully increased revenue. In the case of creation of new products, you might do it because you have a small product portfolio and therefore you want to increase the size of your product portfolio, and that would hopefully lead to a wider range of products and therefore higher sales and hopefully higher revenue. In the case of existing products that you are modifying, well, it might be that you've looked at your range of products and you've realised that the ones that are in existence are in the maturity stage of the product life cycle and therefore will need extension strategies to drag out all those remaining sales and revenue before the product moves into the decline stage of the product life cycle. Also, with doing product development, there's some opportunities. Opportunity number one is that if you have the creation of a new product, and maybe in the case of existing products, when you release it to the market, you could do some price skimming. So you could use a particular price strategy where you charge initially a higher price and then over time you lower the price. And in that case, it might lead to an increased revenue because those customers that you have that are particularly loyal to you will possibly buy that product at first and therefore give you that extra revenue. Number two is that product development is seen as a long-term strategy for a business. Think about it like this. You've got the Boston Matrix. Maybe you've looked at your Boston Matrix and you've decided that the products that you currently have, your product portfolio, loads of them are in the cash cow box. So that's great for you now in the short term, but are you distributing some of the profits that those cash cows are making? And are you looking to invest in the future and get those question marks and those stars who can hopefully become cash cows in the long term? Also, like I said before, the product life cycle, maybe you need to make sure that you've always got products that are in the introduction stage and the growth stage that could eventually move to the maturity stage of the product life cycle, and that really intertwines with the Boston Matrix. Please make sure you check out both those videos. The icon's up there. And the next is really important for product development. The next opportunity is that you could possibly sell to a different market segment. An example of that could be Bic razors. Bic razors originally were targeted at the demographic that is men, but over time, Bic realised that they could repackage their product and target it to another segment, being women. And they did that. So that's an example of selling to a different market segment. And when you're thinking about market segments, always remember LID. So you're thinking about the location, the income, or the demographics. So changing one of those things. And that gives you the opportunity to use your product development, to target a different market segment. So even more than just the same market segment, which is really the real thing that is product development. So it gives you that opportunity. On the con side, which is effectively the risks of product development, well, number one, it's going to be a huge cost if you decide to create a new product or modify your existing product. It ain't going to happen for free. The costs could be, in the case of new products, well, probably loads of money needs to go and be invested in research and development. Also, no one may know of your product, so you need to market it, and marketing costs an awful lot of money. And there's a risk that it fails. It may not be a successful modification of existing products. And that could lead to, if it does fail, well, your cash flow is going to be poor because you've spent a lot on research and development, a lot on marketing, it's failed. So if it fails, that means there's not many sales and therefore not much revenue. So your cash flow is likely to be not so great. Also, if it doesn't work, it could hinder your reputation. And if your reputation is hindered, it could affect long-term sales and long-term revenue, and hopefully not, but it could, long-term profits. There's also dangers that you need to think about when you look at product development. And the risks are, because you are creating a new product, it's likely you're going to initially release it to the market. And when you initially release it to the market, you might not make that greater output because you do not expect to have that greater sales. So if you're not making that much, so your output is quite small, you will not be getting economies of scale, so that lower average cost. And because you're not getting economies of scale, you're not getting the lower average cost per making a unit, per thing, well then that's not going to help you maximise your profits. Because remember, profit equals revenue minus costs. And if your costs are higher than they should be, well that could be a problem for your profits. So I hope that helps you with product development, and I hope you go into that exam and you go and smash it. Good luck.